Okay, everybody. So if you look at this chapter, loops and selection statements, that's two concepts, two topics. That's why in some other books, it's split. Most often, they are split into two chapters. So that's why I'm using a whole month to go through this chapter. That's 2 weeks for one concept, right? Okay, these are the objectives. So what do we do in this chapter? We will use loops. You see, loop, 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 right? Entry controlled loop, selection, conditions, etc. So we are doing loops and selection statements. In this class, we will first start with a simple loop. It's called definitive iteration. Iteration simply means repetition. You go through things again and again and again. So definitive means there is a defined number of times you want to go through, you want to repeat doing something. So if you say hello world 10 times, that's a definitive iteration because you have a defined number that's 10 times and you are repeating it for 10 times. That's iteration. So that's what definitive iteration means. Okay, and this mechanism is called the for loop. So we are using the for loop to achieve this definitive iteration. Okay, repetition statements or loops repeat an action. Once again, some of you who have backgrounds, you know what a loop is because you went through this. Well, some of you did not have any programming background, so this comes not easily understandable. A loop simply means you want to perform a task again and again and again. So we say repeatedly, right? So for example, you want to print out hello world 10 times. That's a repetition because you are doing it once, twice, thrice, etc. So that's called repetition. And how do we achieve that? We use a loop to achieve that task. So each repetition or each repetition of action is known as a pass or iteration. We discussed that already. We also call it a pass because it's a round. You pass one round and then another round. So it's called a pass or iteration time. Okay. Two types of loops. Definite iteration or indefinite iteration. Okay. Those that repeat action a predefined number of times, definitive iteration, definite iteration, etc. They are basically interchangeable. Those that perform action until program determines it needs to stop, indefinite iteration. So you do not know when to stop. The program will decide when to stop. Here is the programmer. Okay, for this one. Oh, I forgot this. Let me stop for a minute. Okay, so for this one, this is really decided by the programmer. When you write your program, you decide how many times you run, right? And this is decided by the program at runtime. That means when the program runs, based on the user action, the program, your code, decide when to stop. So let's finally look at a loop. Okay, so executing a statement a given number of times, that's definitive iteration, right? You already know how many times you want to iterate. So Python's for loop, it's called the for loop, is the control statement that most easily supports definitive iteration. So let's look at this example. Okay. This is the syntax. For is the keyword, right? It's a word that's already predefined. It has a predetermined meaning, so you cannot use it for variable names. That's a keyword. This is just a variable name. You can call it anything. You can call it iteration. You can call it pass. And here, the author, This is from the author, I think, or from me. I forgot. Okay, but anyway, you call it each pass. It's just a variable name. In is a keyword, okay? You cannot change that. And range is a function. You already know about function. We learned the square root, right? We learned a power. So you know function. Function is a name behind which there is a chunk of code that accomplishes a task. And a function accepts a parameter, an argument. And here, this is the argument. That's for, right? That's what that line of code is. So we call this the for loop header. Okay, this is a header section, the header section. Okay, so, and then notice that I should move that a little bit. There is a colon there. You must have the colon. And then notice that this is the loop body. So this is called the header, the heading, the header. This is called the body. Okay, you have a head, you have a body, and your loop body must be indented. You see, you must tab it in. Actually, automatically when you press enter, it will be tabbed in. So the loop body must be indented. If you have multiple statements, all of them have to be indented and aligned. Okay. So this statement you already know, you are familiar with, except this one. So usually we just say print it's alive. That's it. That's the end. And if you do that, it automatically inserts a new line character. But here, if you have this argument here, this means do not go to the next line. Just put a space there. That's what that means. Okay. So when you print it out, it's alive, it's alive. You know, instead of going to the next line, it stays on the same line and just insert a space there. That's what this is. Okay, that's the space. So here we have this statement just once, but it executes, right? That's called repetition. Why? Because of this for loop header. This is saying each time you go through the body, no, this time, this is saying you go through the loop body 4 times. That's what this means. Okay, perform the task in the loop body 4 times. Any questions, everybody? That's what it means. No questions? Okay. So we have finished this then. Okay. This slide. Let's go to the next slide. So that is the simplest thing. Let me just start this and okay, finish that. Okay, so let me restart one, right? Oh, this is the, I don't want all that. Okay, let's, okay, so remember the for loop is used for definitive iteration. So you can do, this is how you write a for loop. For, right? and after for, it's the keyword. You have a variable. In the lecture notes, we used what? We used each pass. That's just meaningful, but you can use anything. You can use each round, right? In, that's the keyword. And then you have to have the function name, which is called range. And range accepts an argument. That's the number of times you want to repeat the task. So if you want to repeat it 5 times, you put 5 there. And then remember the colon. Okay, that's the loop header. We call that the header. And then you go down. Notice that it automatically indents, right? And this is where you put your task, whatever you want to repeatedly execute, you put it there. So if I want to print hello world 5 times, I will just say hello, oh, world. Okay, that's it. And then this should execute 5 times. And notice that when I press enter, the system is assuming that I have another statement for the for loop body. So it goes there indented, but you press again, it knows, oh, you want to execute, okay? So that will print hello world 5 times. And you can say for each in range, let's say 10 times, right? And so this is a variable name. Remember, you can change that. Keyword range is the function, and 10 is the number of times you want to repeat. Remember the colon, okay? And we can say print hello. Print hello. I'm trying to do this. And remember that end. So let's give it a space. Okay, so that means you don't want to go to the next line. You want to have a space, and notice that you have hello, 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 10 hellos, right? With a space to end it. Any questions about this, everybody?
So the space is basically like the fence post, right?
Space is basically what, Omkar?
Like the fence post. Like space means that, so there's not going to be a space after the 10th time you write hello, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. After the 10th times, there is still a space. You can see there is still a space. The reason is you are saying give it a space after hello, but then it gets out of the loop because that's already 10 times. Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Okay, you see there is a space, right? Okay, and then that's it. Okay, great question. Any other questions, everybody?
For when you print out hello.
Let me write this again, okay? Jordan, I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So when you print out hello 10 times and you use the variable each, does it save it for, does hello 10 times save it for each, or is it just a variable to use in that loop header?
Okay, so this each is just a variable that keeps counting, actually. And in the later slides, I'm showing you the tracing of the loop. So this is using this variable to count. The very first time, this variable is 0. And then the next time it will be 1. The next time it will be 2. Let me show you, okay? For each in range, I can call it anything. Everybody remember that, right? We said you can call it anything for pass, you know. Is that a keyword? Maybe for around, for anything.
Errand?
What?
Errand?
Aaron?
Errand.
You gotta explain why.
Errand, like running an errand.
Oh, okay. Aaron. Okay. Aaron. Okay. In range 10, right? Okay. And remember, this is how you write the header. I have written it 3 times. You have to remember. For keyword, a variable name, meaningful variable name. And in the keyword, range, the function, and then the argument. That's the number of times you want to run. Okay, so that's the loop header and then colon. Go back, go down. Now you are beginning the loop body. This is what I'm going to do. Okay, print. Let's print out errand. Okay, and then you want to see what the value is, right? And I'm going to print out something else. Okay, so Let's see. So you will see errand. It's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what's the function of this variable? This variable is keeping track of how many times the loop body has run. Jordan, does that answer your question?
Yes, I forgot when you put number after range, it doesn't count. It'll count to 10, but the variable starts at 0. I forgot
Yes.
about that.
Yes, the variable starts at 0, and when it's 10, it stops. So because it starts at 0, you count from 0 to 9, it's 10 times. So
Yeah.
this number, everybody, remember, it's not included. Why? Because you start at 0. Okay, so this number is not included. This number is not included. It's excluded. It's telling you how many times, but that number is not in the loop. If you look at this, you know the last round each errand is 9, right? The last time it's 9. When it's 10, it doesn't meet this condition anymore. It gets out. Okay. Any other questions? No questions? Let me experiment this. Oops. Okay, I can do this. Give it a space. Let me see. So that it doesn't go to the next line and it just immediately print round, right? Let's see. So if you look at this, this is this, right? That's the variable. The first time it's 0, then 1. And then I'm saying do not insert a new line character like this one. You see here, after 0, it gives you a new line character. By default, print gives you a new line character. So here I'm saying do not insert a new line character. That means go to the next line. Instead, insert a space. Do not go to the next line. So here is the space. And print out round. Because for this one, it automatically inserts a new line character. So it goes to the next line, the second round. Okay, so that's what that is. Any questions?
I have a question.
Go ahead.
When I ran mine the last two, my 0 starts after hello, 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 but the hellos that are horizontal, not hello world.
Okay, do you mind sharing?
I can't because I'm in the school, so I have to do the Python on my laptop.
Okay, I cannot, so you are saying it prints out hello world horizontally? So it prints out
So
H?
hello world is correct. And then hello goes horizontal the 10 times. And then my 0 starts after hello and then round 1, round 2, round, instead of yours, like your 0 is on the next line.
I still don't quite understand. Anyone who has similar problems? Sarah, can you put it in chat, just the code, so that we can look at it?
My code?
Just put your code in chat so that everybody knows. Okay, so you want to explain why this 0 is here instead of go down there, right? Yang, please.
Yeah, because the print hello function ends with the spacebar, not with the change line function. So next print function, print errand, is supposed to be right next to the hello.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Sarah. Did you get that? Because you are doing hello and you are saying do not insert a new line character, just insert a space. So after hello, it always has a space, 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 right? And then, so after the 10th hello, it still has a space. It inserts a space. It didn't go to the next line. And then you are running this and you print an errand, which is 0. So that 0 goes there. That's why. Okay. And then it enters round, and then now you are exited that loop. You are done with that loop. Now you are going to this loop. Versus when I do this, if I use this, it's not this one. Where is my?
So how do I correct it?
Yeah, I think it's gone, right? My shell. But when I do the shell, it's 2 separate statements. That's why. When I do the shell, you see, this is one statement and it runs. That's why it doesn't have that problem. And now this is a second statement, it runs. But if you do it in a file, the execution continues. It doesn't stop after this one, it continues. So it inserts a space, and then it goes to the next loop. It prints out 0. And so that's how this comes around, 0. Okay. Sarah, you understand that?
I do. So how would I, from the file, make the 0 go to the next line?
Okay.
Would
What
that be
you can
that
do
flash?
is, let's see, print. Let me see if it requires something. I don't. Okay. So you can just print. When you do that, you are saying print nothing but just because it automatically inserts a new line character, right? So it goes to the next line. Okay, that's how you can separate them. Insert a print statement there. And so when you run, it separates them. Okay? Any other questions, everybody? I like to answer your questions. The reason is, we have this question that you might not have encountered. In the future, you will, and this will help you understand it much better, and we solve the problems. So if you have questions, problems, please let me know, and then we will solve it together. Any other questions, everybody? No? Okay, no questions. So this is this, okay? So here I am explaining how this works. Did I? Okay, let's look at this example. I think it's the next slide or something. Let's look at this example, okay? A loop to compute an exponentiation for a non-negative exponent. So we declare a variable, we assign 2 to number, assign 3 to exponent, and product initialize it to 1, and for each pass in range. So what is the range? How many times will this run, everybody?
3.
3, yes, 3. Okay, very good, 3 times. So product, okay, this is an assignment statement, everybody. With this statement, which side will be evaluated first?
The right side?
Yes, very good, the right side. So it will evaluate this expression first, okay. It will evaluate this expression. Everybody, this is the difference between a statement and an expression. This is an expression. It evaluates to a value. And then when you put it inside an assignment statement, you're assigning the value to this variable. So this whole thing is an assignment statement. This itself is an expression. We stressed that already. And this is on your test. And some of you still are confused about the assignment and expression, between assignment and expression, the difference between them. Okay, so within this expression, product, you remember the system will go to the memory location, name the product, and gets the value, which is 1, right? It gets 1, and number, it goes there and get number, which is 2. So 1 times 2, it gives you 2. And so now product is not 1 anymore, it's 2, right? So this, it assigned that 2 to it. And then it prints out product, which is 2, that's there. And then insert this, insert that there. And that's it. And a space, space, right? So space, space. And then it goes back here and see if it's already 3 times. It's not, because it's counting each pass. Each pass will become 1. You remember the second time. So it comes here again. And product now is 2. So 2, and number is still 3. 2 times 3, that gives you 6. So it assigned 6 to it. Now it's 2 and 2. Number is 2, not 3. I said 3. So it's 4, right? 2 times 2 is 4. And assigns 4 to product. And that's what it printed out, 4. And then print out this. Okay. And then it goes there, and each pass is 2 now, right? From 0 to 1 to 2. 2 is still not 3. So it goes to the loop body, and the product now is 4. It gets 4, and number is still 2. 2 times 4, that's 8. It assigns 8 to product. Product now is 8. Okay, and then it prints out 8 plus this, this. So that's it. Okay, and if you simply reference product, which is a variable here, right? It gives you 8. That's the product. So this is how this works. Any questions? Do you see how a loop works? It goes back, the body, it goes back to the beginning so it will run this statement, it will run this statement, and then it goes back to check each pass. The first time is 0, and this is 3, right? So it says, oh, 0 is not 3 yet. Let's continue. It will go here. It will execute 1, 2, and then goes back. Now it's 1. Oh, 1 is not 3 yet. Let's go on. So it will execute 1, 2, and then goes back. And now it's 2. 2 is not 3 yet. Let's continue. It will execute 1, 2, and then goes back. Now each pass is 3. It sees, oh, 3 is 3. We cannot continue. Let's get out. It will get out. Go to the next statement. That's how a loop works. Okay, any questions? Okay. Now let's look at this program. Number is 2, exponent is 0, product is 1, and each pass, the very first time, is 0, right? And the exponent is also 0. So 0 is 0. It doesn't go into the loop body. It simply goes to the next statement. So when you type product, you reference product, the variable, it gives you 1 because it's initialized to 1. Right? That's how this works. So a loop may not run at all. Okay, let's start this. Let's try it so that you can see. Okay, so if I say for each in range 0, okay, print hello. It will not run at all because each is 0. and this is 0. So it doesn't go into the loop body, it skips the loop body. Okay, for each in range 1, print hello. It will print out once. So this is saying execute it 0 times, meaningless, right? And this is saying execute it 1 time. Perform the loop body 1 time, or perform the loop body 0 times. That's what that is. Any questions, everybody? Let me stop my recording. So if you look at this, this is syntax error, everybody, okay? It should be colon. So I deliberately put this here to remind you, make sure your syntax is correct. You know, programming is really a combination of mathematical logic and attention to details, just like English. When you write English, when you speak English, you have to pay attention to grammar and syntax. When you write, you have to make sure your punctuation is correct. So the communication is clear and not confused, right? Otherwise, it becomes ambiguous and people don't understand you. This is really the same in programming. When you write your code, you have to use the correct grammar and syntax. Otherwise, Python interpreter does not understand you. So you have to be very detail oriented. And that's one side. The other side of programming is that you have to be really logical. You have to have good logic mind. You have to be able to solve problems. And how do you solve a problem, really? It's always you follow a logic. So you have to be logical, and you also have to be very detail oriented. You have to understand, to communicate effectively and correctly, you have to follow the syntax and grammar. Okay, that's a mini lecture there. So this is showing you, make sure your syntax is correct. And okay, you understand this, and I'm just explaining that, right? So count is really, it starts at 0 and then 1, 2, 3. 4 is exclusive, remember that, okay? And here, even if you say count is 4, it still starts at 0. Notice this. So let's do, right? So if you say count is equal to 4, you say I have assigned 4 to it, but here if you do for count in range 6, let's see what count is, right? You see, it still starts from 0. So remember, this variable is only valid inside this loop. Okay, so now let's see count. It's 5. Right? That's the last value is 5. So this one really doesn't matter at all. Okay. You're looking at really just, no matter what, it starts with 0 here. Any questions? Okay. Loops that count through a range of numbers. Okay. We discussed this already. And here, count plus 1. So when count is 0, count is 0 here. 0 plus 1, that gives you 1. And I explained that there, right? Product is 1. So look at this. I will let you look at this on your own because I already explained it. right? This one is actually new information. It's a little bit different from the previous slide. Yeah. This one is the same. This one is a little bit different. Sorry about that. So for this one, this we said is always starts at 0. However, you can specify the initial value. So here, this range, tell me how many arguments do you have? Very easy, right? How many arguments?
2.
2. The first one is the value to initialize count with. The second one is the range. Okay, it's the number of times it should go. So count starts instead of 0, it starts at 1. So this is 1, the first time. The second time, 2. The third time, 3, 4. Okay, and it doesn't go to 5. You remember that, right? So that's that. Yes, it starts at 1 instead of 0 here. Okay, so let's try it. We can say for count in range. Let's start with 4 and end before 6. Okay, and print out, say count. It would be 4 and 5, right? So once again, this is the initial value of the variable. When you have 2 arguments, that's the initial value of the variable. And this is still the end value exclusive. Okay, that's that. Any questions, everybody? Look at this example I just did. Okay, you can start at 4 and then it ends at 6, right? Okay, that's that. And this one, okay, let's look at this one. Okay, everybody. So we get a value from the user, right? And the value, the user enters 1. We get a value from the user again, and the user enters 10. And so now we can do this. This is the variable name. Oh, I have this. This is the variable name in this loop. And our range has 2 arguments. Lower, which is whatever the user enters, right? Lower. Okay, so it goes there. And the value for lower is 1. And upper is whatever the user enters. And that's what the user enters. So that's upper, right? And the user entered 10. So 10 plus 1, that's 11. And this one, the user entered 1. So it's 1 to 11. So the sum, and you can look at this. Okay, I explain it there. So that's how this works. So I will give you some time to look at that. Just look at the tracing. This explains how this loop works. Only if you understand the inner workings, then you will understand how a loop works. Okay, so I will give you some time to read through that. So we will ask the user to enter something. We will say number equals to int. Enter a number, right? Okay. And then what did I do wrong? Oh, I forgot the quotes. Let's just do that. Enter a number. And then I enter a number, 23. And then I will do a for loop for count in range number, right? Okay. So how many times, looking at this, how many times will this loop run?
23.
23 times, yes, okay. I will say count plus hello, right? Okay, so Oh, tell me why this is not correct, everybody. Can you tell me why? Can you tell me why, everybody?
Because number is a integer.
Number is an int.
And you're
It
adding
needs to be converted to a
strings
string.
it.
Okay, number is an int. Yes, that's correct. But which one is not correct? Where should I correct? Which should I correct?
Put string
Count.
and
Count?
Yes, count, right? Okay. Yes, because I'm not printing out number, I'm printing out count. That's correct. Very good. Okay, now it should be correct. So you can see that this number is what the user entered, 23. So it will follow that. And that's what this is, right? Here we have upper plus 1. So we can also simply say number plus 1. Then, okay, so we can say number plus 1 or plus 2. Then it will be 25 times, right? Let's run. So from 0 to 24, that would be 25 times. Number is 23 plus 2, that's 25. And we can also simply do start from 20, okay, and go to number plus 2. So this would be from 20 to 24, right? Okay. You can manipulate this arguments in many different ways. And of course, you can get lower bounds, just like what is in the slides. Okay, let's do that. Input until a lower bound. And then I will enter 10. Okay, so my number is it's 23. I can do the for loop. So here I will use lower. That is lower, that variable. I can use lower, start from there. And this is go from 23 plus 7. That goes to 40, right? Or let's do 41. So that it will include 40. That's how you can manipulate this. Oh, yes, count. Okay, so our count will start from what number, everybody? Look at my code. 10. Yes, it will start from 10. Okay, and number, well, when will it stop? After which number it will stop?
18.
Not 18. This is my number until 23.
31.
23 plus 8. That's
31.
31. Yeah, it's 30. I thought 40. Yes, 31. Okay, so it will stop after 30, right? Let's see. Okay, everybody. So this is really how you can manipulate this. And just so that, just now, Sarah asked, what's the practical usage of this? Here is one, okay? For, let's just do another one in range 10, not 10, that's too many, 4, okay. So you can say, get user input, for example. Right? Enter your test score. Okay, and then you can print out your test score is right. So this will print out your test score each time. But instead of asking the user 4 times using 4 lines of code, you just do it in this one, using this one body, and it will run 4 times. So that's the code. So you will say, right? That's 4 times. And of course, then you can add them together to print it out. You can do average. You can do all kinds of things. That's the for loop. Any questions, everybody? And this is doing the sum, you see. Okay, let's do this exercise. Everybody, do the first one. What time is it? Yeah. Okay, the rest of the class, I think we will do exercises, and next time we will finish this. Let's do each one of them. Okay, let's do the first one first. I will give you 5 minutes. I think you should be done. Let's see, where are these? Yeah, number 4 is good. Okay, let's do the first one, 5 minutes, and then we will do 2 and 3 together, and then I will let you do 4. Okay. Oh, we only do exercise 3. Yeah, 4 is later. Okay, let's do the first one, 5 minutes.
Ask the user to enter his or her name,
Mm-hmm.
and then save it to a variable.
Mm-hmm.
Skip a line, and then print the user's name followed by the $sign 5
Mhm.
times. I didn't know if you wanted spaces in between.
That's fine. That's fine. Okay, let's run it.
Run it. What's my name?
Very good, right? That's exactly what I asked. Very, very good. Jordan, move your screen, move this so that people can see the code.
Oh.
One more time.
Oh.
Yes. Okay, everybody. Look at this. This is excellent. I like it. You have the header. You have the documentation. That's great. That's very good. Very good. A great example of how this is done. Everybody, any questions about this? Okay, Jordan, thank you so much. Anyone else?
You're welcome.
Okay, let's look at this. You are having a syntax error. So where is the syntax error? Okay, you should not use name in your for loop header because it's confusing. Oh, you see, it becomes confusing because you use name in print in the for loop header, and you also use name in entering your name. So change the name in for loop header, change it to something else. Yes. Okay, now it should run. That equal sign, it re-enter that equal sign. It doesn't re-enter. Okay. Did you save? Okay, I'm going to stop recording because you have an equal sign after print. Okay, that's good. So go back to your code. I'm going to stop this recording again. It seems it didn't take the new, oh. Okay, this is your name.
Yeah.
You put
Okay.
equal sign after print. Okay.
Equal signs.
Okay, good, good. You solved it
Okay.
yourself.
Mm.
Okay, so that's good. So basically we are done with this, right, everybody? Any questions? No questions. Let's go to the book. Okay, everybody, you go to your own book so that I don't have to share. I want to look at you because I want to ask you questions. Okay, to access your book, you go to modules and you can see you have these modules, week 1 and then course materials, right? Week 1 and 2 and 3 and all these materials, all these modules, you go to course materials and access your course materials. Click on that and then click on this. And then you go to these, all the tools, and this is the full book. So you click on that. And go to page 70. I said 70, right? So go to page 70. Press enter. Okay, so let's look at this exercise. I can expand it. Okay, so let's look at this exercise. What did I say? Exercise 1A, 1B. So let's look at 1A. What will this print, everybody? You have it, so I'm not going to share. I want to look at you and then I want to ask you questions. Okay, 1A, what is the output? Anyone? Am I still sharing?
A count of 1 to 6.
Count of 1 to 6. It will print out count of 1 to 6. Kobe, why?
It says print count plus 1 and equals to space. So that would mean it will only go into a single line, no new lines.
Okay, so it will print out 1 because count starts at 0. Count 0 plus 1 is 1. And when count is 4, plus 1, that's 5. So from 1 to 5. That's what you are saying, right?
Yes.
Okay, and it doesn't go to the next line. It inserts a space. So it will print out 1 space, 2 space, 3 space, 4 space, 5 space. That's it. Okay, that's 1, right? And B, for count in range 1, comma 4, print count, comma, and okay, anyone?
Wouldn't it print 0 through 3 with a space in between each one?
Okay, it prints 0 through 3 with a space in between. Do you all agree? Everybody?
Yes.
You agree? Okay. I have 1 agree. And do you all agree? This B, okay.
Isn't it 1, 2, 3? I just wonder because it starts from
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and another student said 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3. So go ahead, everybody, answer.
Because it starts at 0 and ends at 4, right?
Okay, it starts
And
at
it's
0.
count plus 1. Count plus
It's
1.
not, but it's not doing count plus 1. It's just starting at count.
Okay, it just starts at count. Okay, anyone else?
I got 1, 2, and 3 spaces in between.
You got that. Why? Did you run or did you run? I
Yeah,
want you to tell me why.
I guess I did. I mean, I just put for the count and range parentheses 1 and 4. It just counts from 1 to 3.
Yes, but I want you. I would like you to explain why.
I kind of see what I did wrong when I said 0 to 3.
Okay.
It starts at 1 and then goes to 3 versus
Okay.
it's telling it the minimum value is 1 versus starting at 0 and then going to 3, and it's going to stop at 3 because 4 is the maximum.
Okay. Why does it start at 1?
Because you specified the minimum value.
Yes, that's specified, everybody, inside the for loop header. If you look at the for loop header for count in range 1, 4. So this range, this function has two, okay, let me just share my screen right now. Am I still, no. Okay, this is, can I write? No. Okay, so if you look at this, right, range, this function has two arguments, 1 and 4. And what does that mean? The first argument is the initial value for the control, for the loop variable. The second value is the max -1, right? The max exclusive. So this starts from 1. So your count starts instead of 0. At 0, it starts at 1. Whatever this value is, it starts at 1, and then 2 and 3. So it will print out 1 space, 2 space, 3 space. That's it. Any questions? Okay, now let's look at what else. So that's 1A, 1B, and let's look at 2. Exercise 2. Write a loop that prints your name 100 times. Each output should begin on the new line. I will let you do that. Okay, so username, enter your name, and for each pass you read. Okay, let's run.
Okay, and then
okay, good. Justin, let's go back to your code.
okay.
And how many times do you think this will run? How many times it will print out your username, do you think?
It should print it out 100 times, but it'll run 101 times.
It will print out 100 times, but it will run 101 times. Are you sure it will print out 100 times? How do you check how many times it prints out? Can you check, do you think?
I'm not too sure. So.
Okay.
It goes 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
Yeah.
100.
It starts at 0 and it would end at 101.
So how many times will it print out then?
If it's, now I'm like second guessing myself, but my logic behind it is if it starts at 0 and ends at 101 and it's not going to print the 101st one, then it's going to print 100.
Okay, so from 0 to 100, how many numbers is that?
That is 101, so it's going to print 101 times.
Yes. So where should you change? I know you are thinking about, that's great because you are thinking about the exact number. So
probably be 100.
Yes, because now you have 0 to 99. That gives you 100. Yes, that's correct. Okay, very good, Justin. Thank you very much. That's correct. Okay. Everybody, that should be it, right? Because we did that, Jordan did that once, and that's just 5 times or something. So here, Justin did it again. Anyone else who wants to share and you feel that you like your work and you want to share? Anyone else?
I have a question.
Okay, Joe, let's look at yours.
Oh, okay.
That was you, right? Who said
Yes,
you
it
want
was
to
me.
share? Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
I believe it's my screen.
Yeah, we can see your screen. Ask for the user. I like the fact that a lot of you are putting comments there. That's very good. I like that. Get into that habit so that you won't run into trouble in the future. If you enroll in my second class, you will know that I stress documentation greatly. If you don't document your work, I'm going to take points off. And for your midterm project, you also need to document your work. So this is great to get into that habit. Okay, very good. Yeah, let's you run it, right? Okay, good.
I just have
Okay,
a
Joe,
question.
thank you. Everybody, that should be it, I
Hello,
think.
can you hear me?
Let's look. Joe, say it
Yeah,
again.
I had a question from, I think it was Justin's. He used for each pass. I
Mhm.
didn't know why he used that.
You don't know
I-
why he used it?
Right.
I just came up with a random variable name and put that
Oh, it
in
was a
there.
variable. Okay, I just missed it.
Okay. Everybody remember that count, that place is a variable, and you can use any name that's meaningful. You want it to be meaningful, but you can use any name. Okay.
Appreciate it.
Uh-huh. So where is, did I think, okay. So that's that. Let's look at the last one. What did I want to do? The last one, that's exercise 2, right? Okay, let's look at exercise 3 on page 70. Exercise 3. Explain the role of the variable in the header of a for loop. So anyone who wants to explain the role, for example, each pass, count in the loop header, what is the role of that? Why do we need that variable there? What does it do?
Doesn't it identify the rest of the variables in the loop?
Kelsey, say it again.
Sorry about that. Doesn't it identify the rest of the variables in the loop?
It identifies the rest of the variables in the loop. Okay. Okay. Anyone else? What does that variable do? What's the function of it? Justin, you are muted.
Sorry, I was just thinking out loud. So isn't because it changes every time, like that's gonna go up and count up. So isn't that just kind of like that represents the number of times that it's going? I might be wrong. That's just the way I thought about it.
Okay. 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 Anyone else? Brandon, what do you think? What's the meaning? What's the variable? What's the role of that variable?
It would be to just maintain the count for the number of loops gone through.
Okay, maintain the count of the number of times it repeats. Yeah, that's correct. All of you, thank you. Okay, the function of that variable is really, it's used to control how many times the loop runs, right? It's used to control the loop, really. Without that variable, the loop will run wild. And syntactically, it won't be correct. But that variable is used to control the loop, to create that mechanism where you start from a certain number, you run to a certain number. So that variable is very important. It's used to control the loop. Yes, that's the function. Okay, any questions?